Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful to see you. The weather's changing now here in sunny Kent. It is, it's becoming very nice. It's the 16th of April 2021 of our good Lord. Yeah, we're going to be talking today. We're going to be doing some screen sharing, ladies and gentlemen, some screen sharing. We're going to be talking about all sorts of things that we seem to have just tolerate, and we tolerate them because we're always told, "Oh, we're all in this together." I'm certainly not in anything together. No, why? Because I'm an individual, and you should all be individuals. You should be individual under God's law. That's all we've got to do whilst we're here. Be an individual under God's law. But we're going to be talking today about the satanic system, and it is satanic. Make no mistake about it. And what you think it is not. You are all led to believe. And you know what, right? If I'm brutally honest, howdy champs, how you going, Squire? Charlie Barton, lovely to see you. The brutal truth is, we're to blame, the people, because we allow this to go on unabated. We have a little whinge, we have a little moan, we have a few sparks and glimmers of moments, but we tolerate it, and because we tolerate it and we allow it, what it does, it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse because we've not kept check on things. Does that make sense? Now, there's nothing more important here on this planet than us, the people. Really and truthfully, there isn't. We are part of creation. We are absolutely part of creation. And how we've ever got into this shitstorm, I really don't know. My shows ain't made for children, by the way. And, you know, we're going to be screen sharing in a second. We're going to be talking about a 13-year-old kid in America that's just been shot and killed by an officer. We're going to be talking about George Floyd, whether you like George Floyd, you didn't like George Floyd, what the circumstances around Chauvin are. And we're going to be talking about Dante White, another black man that's just been shot, killed in America. And the alarming thing about it is, in England, I don't like using the word the UK, because the UK is just a corporation, it's not a country. But then England, what is England? It's just a name. I guess all the churches, they're all sharing their flags at half-mast today. Apparently the Duke's being buried in his Land Rover Defender tomorrow. Maybe that's where he's going to start coming back as his killer virus. I don't know. Alison Goulding, hello, darling. R.I.P., says Lauren. Yeah. So, look, you know, the point is this. We tolerate this. Our outrage is never, ever, ever, you know, we never lean on these people and say, you know, what you're doing is wrong. We have a whinge, we have a bicker, we don't do nothing. And it gets worse and worse and worse. It really does. We've had a copper in this country. It's just been done. I don't know. We'll get to the story in a second. For nicking £65 out of a dead man's wallet. Why? Because they can. Because there's no one there checking on them. Because they're all part of a swindle. The courts are in bed with the old bill. You might get a judge now and again lean on a copper in a court, you know, and try and hold it in the book. But they're all in it together. They're all having plenty of this, plenty of money, money. That's all they're interested in. The courts, the police, it's all about money and control. Because with the money comes a control. The monetary system is the control system. It's the pin in the grenade. So anyway, let's get a bit of screen sharing on the way. Screen share, here we go. Bosh. So just bear with me. I want to talk about the latest. This is hopefully you should be able to start seeing this. I'm just waiting for my feed to jump on board. Here we go. Righto. So this is Sky News. This is body cam footage of a 13-year-old boy being shot dead by a Chicago policeman released. So there's the kid. I can't play no videos because I'll get a strike. I don't want a strike, to be fair, because it puts me out. And hopefully this is all acceptable. And you know, if I get censored for bringing this information to you, shame on YouTube and shame on Facebook for censoring the truth. You know, when people are dying and kids are dying, 13-year-old kid, and you could argue, well, the kid was a scumbag. He deserved it. No, no, no. Never, never, ever, 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 ever. What have we become? What have we become? What happened to, you know, show me the Black Eyed Peas song, Where is the Love? Show me it. For God's sake, look, the kid's got his hands up. Yeah, he surrendered. He has surrendered. In this country, England, we're generally 5 years behind the trends that are being set in America. All right. That's the truth. We really are. And it's so whatever they're doing out there, look, Chicago, it's the hub of the mafia, right? Chicago is the hub of the mafia. I'll tell you for why. There was a Johnny Depp film quite a few years ago where he's a bank robber and he's walking around with Wurlitzer guns and the big Ford with the running boards. They pull up outside and, you know, go in and rob the banks. At the end of the movie, he gets shot dead by a copper as he comes out of the cinema because he's going to meet his lover and they're going to be running off into the sunset, but he never makes it because he gets killed. Now, the point is this. Johnny went, when he was getting bashed up, he went to his mates, his mafia bosses, to ask them for their assistance. And they said, no, we've moved into easier ways. And there's all the bent-nosed mafia thugs, Al Capone's thugs, sat out in the back offices in Chicago, all on the phone with their suits on. And guess what they're selling, ladies and gentlemen? You guessed it, they're selling insurance. They'd moved, they'd laundered their dirty money, and that's why the mafia pretty much disappeared, because the mafia moved into different areas. It's the truth. I'm bringing nothing but the truth. That's all you're going to get on my channel. The truth as I see it, you know, and I'm hoping that's the reason why you tune in and you pay attention. UK media says a copper with no empathy or morals is a threat to us all. Yeah, but there's not just one or two of them. It's all of them. They're all the bloody same. I'm sick of it. But the reason they get away with it is because we do nothing. We don't do anything. We whinge, we moan, we talk, you know, we send platitudes, but that's about it. Body cam footage of a police officer fatally shooting a 13-year-old boy last month appeared to show the teenager holding his hands up before he was shot. Adam Toledo can be seen running away from the police down an alley in Chicago as an officer shouts for him to stop and show his hands. The boy stops and appears to hold his hands up as the officer shouts, "Drop it." A shot is then heard as the officer repeats the command, because we must do what the police tell us, right? We are slaves. We must do what they tell us. A bit like the Gestapo, a bit like Germany. You must do what we tell us. We're all in this together. We're doing this for your own good. Oh, fantastic. A shot is then heard as the officer repeats the command and the boy crumbles to the ground whilst the officer asks, "Are you all right? Shall I call for an ambulance?" He shot a 13-year-old kid and his first reaction is, "Are you all right? Shall I call an ambulance?" The footage shows it took 19 seconds from when the officer left his police car from when the teenager was shot. And here we can see people out in Chicago protesting about the poor death of this young kid. Yeah, I'm sick of the shooting. I'm sick of the deaths, you know, and you all should be as well. You should be sick of the taser-ins. You should be sick of the beatings we get from the people that work for the system that's supposed to work for us, the public servants. You should be sick of it. You should be absolutely at a point of enragement. You really should. We've not been here before. We're really not. This is unprecedented and uncharted waters. We've got to be really careful. Further footage was released showing the officer telling the boy to stay awake as the officers have arrived. So he shot him and now he's giving him an order to stay awake. Stay awake, son. Stay awake. My goodness. The first officer said he can't feel a heartbeat and starts administering CPR. Police said the handgun the boy was carrying was found at the scene. Chicago police said the shooting happened after officers responded to gunshots detected by police technology before dawn 29th of March in predominantly Latino and black white village neighborhood in the city's west side. The teenager, who was Latino, 21-year-old man, ran off, was confronted by police before Adam was shot. Look, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that this kid was all sweetness and light, but this is the problem. This is the world we're bringing kids up in. There's no love, there's no respect, there's no teaching, there's no showing people the way to be, you know, and this is why these kids are so lost. And this will only get worse, you know, until we address this situation, until the world wakes up and addresses what the hell is going on. It's unbelievable. So clearly there, let's come back into the room a second, ladies and gentlemen. And so clearly there you can see, you know, you can clearly see there that the world's got problems, really, hasn't it? You know, we're going to get onto the 65-year-old copper in a minute. We've got Dante White coming as well, so stay tuned for that. Jackie Jones, hello, how are you? UK media, is it the nail on the head? Right on the head. Apparently the Duke's only having 30 people go to his funeral. Bless. Alison Goulding, just like the cops jumped my lad and threatened to break his arm earlier this year at our peaceful rally. He was 14. My goodness. UK coppers, English coppers threatening to break a 14-year-old kid's arms. Mate, we have descended into far worse territory than Germany was in 1936. You best wake up soon. You know, I think I prefer a bullet, to be fair, than having my arms broken. I think I'd want it sort of done and dusted. Do you know what I mean? Owen, how you doing, Squire? How are we doing there all the way from Portugal? Allah, I imagine it's really warm out there. Right, so let's get tucked into my next story then, boys and girls. George Floyd killing, ex-cop Derek Chauvin refused to testify murder trial as defence rests cases. Judge Peter Cahill told the court that the closing argument is set for Monday, after which the jury will begin deliberating. So here's the copper Derek Chauvin that murdered George Floyd. Look, I've said, right, now, I don't care George Floyd's history. I don't care what he got up to. I just want to deal with the facts. And the facts are, did he deserve to be killed by an officer of the law? And the answer to that has got to be a resounding no way. Okay? Because the reason is, when a copper can kill you, he's judged during execution, or he's become the guy with a hatchet in his hand that you've got to put your head in the block and he's going to chop it off. You've got to be really careful. Police, as far as I'm concerned, should be a peace-loving people. They should only have the power to detain and plonk you in front of the judiciary that is based by the people for the people, so that you can be dealt with. Now, what I would love to see is a people by the people thing where it was all about rehabilitation and putting the pride back into people, because that's the only way you're ever going to cure all this stuff. You know, President Trump, there was a black guy that was in prison. I think he was in for murder, and he'd done so well and turned to God and the Bible that President Trump last year awarded this guy and he gave him a pardon, and the guy broke down. It was just such a beautiful scene to see, and Trump give him a hug, and I was like, that is what this world needs to see. Not discrimination, not beat someone into the ground. It's to actually rehabilitate someone and tell them that they're worthy and put the pride back into them. That's the only way you're ever going to change this stuff. Did George Floyd have to die by Derek Chauvin? No way, not a chance. Former police officer Derek Chauvin has refused to testify in court over the killing of George Floyd. Well, you know, silence is consent and all that. Of the killing of George Floyd, I mean, if you've seen how George Floyd gets killed, it is harrowing. You know, and I don't see it as a black man. I see it as a soul. I see George Floyd as a soul. I see everybody as a soul, and that's the loss of a soul. That's the loss of the most valuable thing that this world is, which is the life, the spirit. We're not commodities, ladies and gentlemen. We're not government owned. We don't have HM's customs and revenues stamped on our butt cheeks, do we? You know, we're creations of God, ladies and gentlemen. At the start of Thursday's proceedings, Chauvin informed the court that he would not testify, invoking his, what a coward, invoking his Fifth Amendment right not to take the stand. Well, okay, cool. Is that your decision not to testify, said the judge, Peter Cahill, and he said, it is, Your Honour. Chauvin said. The question of whether Chauvin would testify in his own defence has been the subject of speculation since the trial began. Chauvin confirmed to Judge Cahill that he had chosen not to address the jury and that he had not been threatened or promised anything in return for this decision. Under the Constitution in America, everyone has a right to invoke the Fifth Amendment and the right not to incriminate themselves. Well, there is that. So now what you're going to see is they're going to just have a strong case against him and probably find him guilty. Bosch. The idea was brought up by a retired forensic on a defence case, which came as a shock to the prosecution. So, Dr. Tobin told the court that the hospital tests on Mr. Floyd on the day of his death showed that his blood was 98% saturated in oxygen, meaning the amount of carbon dioxide would be 2%. Following that, both sides finished to present their case. 98% actually is a good healthy individual. If you've got a blood, I can do it on my wristwatch here. I can test my blood now. Mine's always between 96 and 98% saturated in oxygen. So we do all right, as I do a lot of talking. So yeah, Derek Chauvin, that's not good. We have to be careful, but it's because we tolerate it, because we, the people, place so much trust in these public servants. We never question them. We just go and we make excuses. That's the real sad part about it. We all my family do it. That's all right. It's only the police. Don't worry about it. That's all right. I'm like, no, I'm not happy with that. I'm not happy with that at all, because that's a dangerous place to be, And we've seen, we know that our police are out of control. My friend Hayley, she got the police come round to her house about 3.5-4 months ago looking for my friend Toby. And she lifted her letterbox, which is her right to do. She don't have to open the door to anybody. And this copper slammed the letterbox down so hard that if either she had had her hands in it or her kids, could have broke their fingers, could have chopped their fingers off. But the police don't care. They're absolute, I was going to swear then, they're absolute animals and they're out of control. Stop making excuses for these people. Please, people, I implore you to all come together and stop making excuses for these retards. Right. Okay. Next story. Daunte Wright killed was accidental, said the police. This has just happened in Minneapolis. Tear gas has been fired and the curfew imposed, because slaves have to be curfewed, amid angry protests among the fatal shooting of a black man in a traffic stop. Now, someone told me the other day that this guy was involved in shootings and guns. I'm not too sure about that. I don't think we'll ever know the truth, because we know that the police and that will cover. I mean, they plant things in your car. They plant drugs in your car. You're dealing with a real vicious pack of lunatics now. The police are lunatics. They're not normal people. Something's happened to them. They've just lost the plot. They seem to think they own everything. They have a right to do whatever they want to do. They don't. They work for us. Tear gas been fired amid curfew, amid protests after police fatally shot a black man in a traffic stop in the US city of Brooklyn Center, just north of Minneapolis. 20-year-old Daunte Wright. My goodness, this is so sad. Police Chief Tim Gannon has told media the shooting was accidental. Is my belief? Well, it is, because they're just going to cover it up, and this poor kid's now dead, shot by a female officer that can't tell the difference between a taser and a handgun. It ain't hard work. A taser looks so different from a handgun. It's first of all, it's got a big yellow tip on the end of it, and I just don't get it. I just don't get. She's going to get off with this, I promise you. It said it's my belief that the officer meant to deploy the taser but shot him with a single bullet. It don't matter, the poor lad's now dead. Tension in Minneapolis are higher as the trial of a former officer accused of killing George Floyd takes place. So, it's clearly kicking off in America. And, the people need to hold their public servants accountable. And we need to do the same in this country. because they're getting away with murder. Literally getting away with murder. Bosh. Right, here we go. This is the Independent. A police officer jailed. Well, as you know, officers is a fiction. It's not real. It's part of the legal world. And we need to get back to lawfulness. We need to get back to constables. We need to get back to the proper law, ladies and gentlemen. This has all got to stop. So a police officer has been jailed for stealing £65 from a dead man's wallet. Can you believe it? Humberside Constable sentenced to 15 months, which isn't long enough. He should be getting hard labour, that boy. And I hope that he gets sacked from the job and never to return. And he tried in his hardest and earnestness. Here, look, you've got a £50 note, a £10 note, and a £5 note, signifying what he's done. This cop has lifted this cash out of a dead man's body. It's, mate, honestly, and we're supposed to call these people, Your Honour. Yes, Your Honour. No, Your Honour. Really? When your leckers, your henchmen, your police force are doing stuff like this, you want us to respect you? Please. From news to politics, travel to sport, a serving police officer who stole £65 from a dead man's wallet has been jailed for 15 months. Unbelievable. Let's see if we can get a little bit more of the story. It appears it's gonna show me. Paul Wallace, 47, a constable from Humberside Police, took the cash after being given the role of liaison officer to the family of a man who had died suddenly. So this man had died suddenly, and this guy who's now a liaison officer has gone round and lifted £65 out of a dead man's body. Come on, people. I'm telling you, right? There's no way on this earth I could ever go into a court and call any of these judges Your Honour, because it would just rip. You might as well just rip my heart out. I'm sorry, they're sick. But we've allowed this to happen. It's the people that have allowed this to happen. Hospitals now, you know, my friend Dave Simpson, bless him, had a cracked rib the other day. I think he fell over on his wallet. And he's cracked his rib and he's gone to this hospital, and the security guard said, "No, mate, ain't got a mask, you ain't coming in." Well, hang on a minute. It says, "Well, just prove you're exempt." Well, how'd you do that? There's a piece of paper, you know. Paper's mine bitter, bitter, mine's paper. Yeah, get on that train cart. Go on, son, get on there. No, I don't like all that. I'm like, well, you don't need a bit of paper to do anything in this country. Your word should be your bond. You know, you say, what does saying you're exempt actually prove? It's like, what sort of a club are we in? You know, what's actually going on here? I don't really understand it. But anyway, he was turned away from the hospital and had to walk around with a busted rib until something got done for him after a few days. And I find that terribly disturbing. I really do. I don't think we should ever be, you know, I think an hospital should just be open all hours, you know. It should just have its doors open. The people in there that work in there take risks, and we all take risks every day. Getting out of bed, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, every morning is taking a risk. Every single thing you do in your daily activity is a risk. All right, walking down the road, cycling, taking your dog for a walk, golfing, going go-karting, whatever it is you're doing, cycling, going flying, scuba diving, rock climbing, you name it, skateboarding, it's a risk. There's no guarantees in life. So to me, hospitals should just be open anyway, and they should never be there to judge or make political sway or get bolstered by politicians to say, oh, don't let him in if he don't say exempt, don't let him in if he ain't got a mask on. That's a failing. That's whether the Black Death's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Don't care whether, because your rights don't just disappear. And bear in mind, we imported the communist dictatorship of China. We imported their thing into this country. You know, Denmark, as we know, the country has banned the AstraZeneca thing. Let me see if I can find it. 2 seconds. Denmark, AstraZeneca. And, you know, and if YouTube's trying out for this, I'm telling you, then shame on them, because because, you know, you all have a right to know the truth. You all have a right to know the God's honest truth, ladies and gentlemen. So the BBC, Denmark stops the rollout completely. Denmark has ceased giving the Oxford AstraZeneca V amid concerns about rare cases of blood clots, the first European country to do so fully. But England seems to be just rolling it out. We are stupid. And now they're saying mix them. They're saying, oh, that one, have that one with that one. Because that, I mean, you can't make this up. You're all involved in the biggest trial, the biggest field trial. And it's like you've got the Chuckle Brothers in charge of all this. I swear to God you have. A friend of mine messaged me last night. She lives down East Sussex. Has had this particular thingy, and now she is very, very ill with blood clots. And so, you know, pays your money, takes your pick, your choice, your temple, your body. You do what you like with it. If you want to ram it full of drugs that you don't know nothing about, fine. If you just want to blindly trust these people up at Parliament or wherever they are and just accept everything that they say, you crack on. Don't worry about it. All's going to be just well. UK column got a ban, it seems. Oh, my God. Don't mention the Vaseline. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, hospitals should just be open. There should be no one there judging you. All you should have is a meet and greet team there saying, right, what's the problem, son? You've been playing them saucy games again, have you? Come here, we're retracting for. We've got some retracting scissors over there. We'll pull that out. Don't worry about it. We ain't going to talk about it. It's all private and confidential here. That's all hospitals should be about. And nurses should turn up. Should be, you know, should be greeting you in a very nice way, saying, you know, what can we do for you today, son? Got ingrown toenail? Yeah, boss, come over here, jump on the couch. We'll sort it out for you. That's what I would like to see. We shouldn't have to qualify. You should just turn up, get in, boss, job done. Shouldn't have to go for these qualifications. Someone tell me what a piece of paper proves. Don't prove nothing. It's a piece of paper, right, with a few little words on it, a bit of ink on it. That's all it is. And then by you qualifying that means someone else has given you permission. Yeah, you've begged someone else's permission, like a doctor or a minister or whatever. You've begged their permission to have that bit of paper to get your freedoms. Freedom don't need no explanation. Freedom's more than a 7-letter word. Freedom is freedom. Oh, who's that? The girls are here. Yeah, the girls are here doing the horses. Beautiful day here, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful day. Beautiful, beautiful day here in Kent, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you. The woman on the right with the white hat, evil. Who are we talking about? So yeah, you know, it's your choice. If you're prepared to tolerate living in a world where your public servants are nicking money out your dead uncle's wallet or shooting you dead on the streets, carry on. Just carry on passively accepting that as normal, because it ain't normal, ladies and gentlemen. That is far from normal. So listen, we're up to half hour. I'm going to go and do some stuff. I'm going to go and finish me coffee with me Trump mug. I do miss that man. I think he is one of the greatest presidents that the American people have ever had and lost. But I don't think you've seen the end of Trump somehow. I've got a funny feeling that he's up to some shenanigans. She's a conspiracy. Greta Thunberg has been given some massive award, and you got to wonder, you know, they get all these platforms, you know, if it swings in the wind, if it goes with the government narrative, oh yeah, you'll get the airtime, you get the radio, you get the news outlets, you get everything, propaganda. But if you talk about stuff they don't want to know about, oh, we want to silence you, oh yeah, no, yeah, we have to ban that one. It's unbelievable. Suppression of the truth in any way, shape or form, where even if it's truth that you don't like listening to, it's a dangerous, dangerous thing, because you're not living in a free, open and transparent people. And that's what we need to live in. We need to be respectful of one another. We need to get back to some good times. We need to stop all this murdering and maiming and shooting and tasering and come back to some decent stuff, right? I'll see you all very soon. Have great weekends, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let this get you down. Just be mindful of what goes on in the world so that you can be informed and you can make choices and change choices and do things your way as you see fit. All right. I'll see you all very soon. Take care. Have blessed weekends. Ta-ta.